everyone, it's Di here from Di's Dan, and this week I'd like to show you how I made this card. It is actually called a folded corner card because you actually fold this corner back over, and you don't just fold it back because we need to cut it. As you can see down here, you can cut that, and you can actually just leave that open like that, and it just looks so beautiful. It's just so different. But I did all this with retired products except for the Daisy Lane, but I just thought I would show you how I made this, and I'm going to do it with this one, Stellar Birthday. This is another new set, and I thought this was absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. And I'm going to stamp this little boy here and have a Stellar Birthday along with some of the other bits and pieces on here, not these two or the other words. So I'm not sure exactly because I'm doing this as I go, so we will see how it's going to turn out. So let's pop that on the one side and let me bring in all the bits you're going to need for this card. Now I've already stamped and cut out my little boy, so we will stamp one and I'll show you what colours I used for him, but we don't need to really, I won't be cutting him out. So alright, so we need a card blank that measures 8 1/4 by 5 7/8, and for our front of our card we need a piece that measures 3 7/8 by 2 5/8 and 3 5/8 by 2 3/8. And then we also need, for the square on the front, we need a piece of card that measures 2 3/4 square and 2 1/2 square. For our insert, we're going to need a piece that measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and another piece that measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. So that's our pieces. This paper here comes from this gorgeous paper here, which is called Expressions of Ink. But I just thought this looked like Stella, so I cut it off of one of my sheets, which is this one here. It's beautiful on this side. I just thought that this looked very Stella-like to me, so that's why I'm doing it with that paper. As I just thought it actually went, to me, was like, wow, that's how it's going to be. So that's what we're going to be using. So let's pop all of those on one side, and we're going to start with our main card. And what we're going to do is, we're not actually going to score this first. We're actually going to get our paper trimmer, and we're going to pop this in our paper trimmer at the 3-inch mark here, and our blade at the 5/8 mark. So that's the next large one past the halfway mark, the next large one between that and we're going to cut then down to the 3-inch mark and not below it. Don't go any further than the 3-inch mark there. So then we're going to pick our card up and we're going to turn it so that on this side we now have it at 2 5/8. Oh, sorry, 2 7/8 mark here, and we're going to cut from that 3-inch mark back up to the 5/8 mark up here. So we're going to cut that all the way back up to the 5/8 mark, like so. I'd like to use my picky tool here just so I can measure across. And that's our piece that's cut out like this. So let's move that nice trimmer out of the way. Let's pop it somewhere where I'm not going to knock anything. So that is our piece already cut out now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to actually rub over these lines, because this is going to be the outside of the outside of the card. So just makes those nice and smooth, the same as the lines on the inside. And now we're going to bring in our scoreboard, and we're going to score this at the 4 1/8 mark. Now all of these instructions will be on my tutorial, including which ways to turn the paper, so if you really would like this tutorial and you want to know where to cut like this, you can do that pretty easily with my instructions. So now we're going to fold and burnish our card as if we were normal, making sure that our cut line is on the front of the card. Like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just very carefully, we're going to turn this piece through. And as you turn it through, you will see that it will want to fold, and you just make it fold and burnish those lines down. So we have like a square on the front here and a piece on the inside. Now how clever is that? And it's going to look so effective. Okay, so that's the main part of our card done. So let's put them on one side, and we're going to bring in our two panels for the front of the card. This is the panels that measure 3 7/8 by 2 5/8 and 3 5/8 by 2 3/8. So we're going to glue those together, and it seems such a shame because that's such beautiful on the other side as well. And my ink is still oozing a week later. I don't know why. I can't see anything wrong with it. I cleaned it all up and it just doesn't seem to want to go nicely. So once we've done that, I've got a bit of a rough edge on that one. There we go. That's got it. We're going to turn this around, and because I've got a pattern that doesn't matter which way around, I want to have the least amount showing here. Because I'm going to cut off this corner here about like that. There's no right or wrong, because we're going to push that back now, and this is going to fit in here, and then when that pulls over you won't even see that corner. So we're going to now see what I mean. It's still oozing. I don't know, this seems a bit weird. I think I might have a bit of a split in my tube. My what do you call it, my nozzle there by the looks of things. Okay, so we've now stuck that onto there, and we're going to pop this one back over the top like this, and we're going to pop just a glue dot under here so that it doesn't come up. So let's get our glue dots out and pop a glue dot right in the corner on the underside, or the front side in this case, and then turn that through and just pop that down in the corner. So that's our card front done, and this bit here we're going to do now because I want to actually stamp onto this piece of card. So I'm going to just use a bit of scrap that I've got here. It says Film Tracker Titles, and I'm going to stamp. I'm not sure what I'm going to stamp, whether I should stamp the, I think I might stamp these which way up do they go? This way up. These planets here. There we go, and then I'm going to just pop that off of there and pop it on the table, and I'm going to stamp some of these stars as well around it. Not that you're going to see many of them. Okay, oops, and then we're going to stamp in the bottom corner here, have a stellar birthday. So let me just make sure that's stamping nicely. We're going to stamp that in this bottom corner here. So that's our front stamp, and we're now going to pop that back in the rubbish bin. We're going to now glue this to the other bit. and I'm sure I must have a split in this tube. I'm going to have to pull it right apart properly to check it out. At this stage it doesn't matter which way up you've got this because it's square. And I'm just going to get a couple of my marker pens, and I'm going to just make this planet have bright yellow ring around it if I can. Let's see if we can make that look more yellow. And it can be a green planet, wrong end. We don't need to use the blenders for this because they are just, after all, background images in this case. So we've done them, and now we can glue this to the front of the card as well. And this will sit nicely inside that square. Now if I put a piece of dark underneath this, you'll be able to see what I mean. Let's pop that under there, and while you're layering that on the top, you can actually do that. This is a bit fuzzy. I don't like fuzzy edges, and I don't have anything here to do that with. Okay, so let's put some glue onto this. And with that under there, so I can see where I'm going to mount this onto the front of my card as well. And that's the front of my card done, except for my little boy. So while my card is just sitting over there, we're going to then do some more stamping. So we're going to stamp. This is my scrap piece for my little boy, and that's just about 2 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. It's not an exact science on that one, so we're going to just stamp him on this piece of paper card, and I will cut him out later on for Mum. Oh, so what am I doing with that? And I'm going to pop that just there for a second, and I will stamp. I didn't get my other stamp out. Saying you're out of this world. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? Oh, sorry. There is no one like you in the whole universe. That sounds good, doesn't it? We'll do that one. So I haven't got time to pop the bit on the back, so I'll just pop that off of there for a moment. And pop this on here. And that's the right way around, so we'll pop that into the middle of the card just like so. And our rocket down here, along with some more stars. And then, oops, let's put some more planets in, shall we? To finish off the inside of the card. So we will now move that out of the way, and we will colour all of these in. I have my colours here, so I'm going to start off with this grey colour here, which is Smoky Slate, and I'm going to colour his little ear thingies here and the neck part of his helmet, along with his belt. And while I'm doing that, I might as well do this metal bit down here and around the window. Okay, so that's, oh, and with the Early Espresso, I'm going to do the bottoms of his boots. Okay, so that's that one. And this one I'm going to do with the orangey colour, whichever colour. This is Mango Melody. I'm going to do these things on his belt. I didn't do his hair, oh dearie me. And I will do this nice thing around there. And one of these planets. And all the stars. Which none of this takes very long to do at all. Oh, we'll do the inside of his flame as well. Okie dokie. Then we will go on to this one, which is Poppy Parade, and we will do these little bit of the rest of the thingy. If you wanted to do these with your blenders, you can, but I just didn't think that it was necessary. And I will do this planet as a red planet. Then I will use Granny Apple Green for the rest of this. I forgot to do the red for the rest of the flame coming out of the bottom of the thingy. And his star. So let's see, we'll have a green planet over there, or whatever colour this is that I've just picked up. Coastal Cabana. A Coastal Cabana moon over there. Okie dokie. So now I'm going to go back and get my crumb cake and just do his hair with crumb cake. And what of colours have we got in here? We have this petal pink for his face. It's very much the closest you can get to skin colour in the Stampin' Up problem, and this one I just did with Calypso Coral. So, and I will just use a tiny bit of this mint macaron for in the window of the aircraft there. There we go. And that's all of our things done. And this one, well, we just cut out with our scissors, fussy cutting them out, and that's done. But we won't do that now because of wasting too much time. But I will pop this onto this one. And I'm really, really cross with this, is what I'm doing this. I'm going to have a really good look at it. That it's still oozing like crazy. So that's our insert, and we can pop that into the inside of the card wherever I put it. So I'm going to pop this onto the inside of my card. Maybe it's actually the tip on this bottle. It is pretty old, this bottle. And that's our card done except for putting our boy on the front and some, so we're going to use some dimensions to pop on the back of our boy, our little Stella boy, or whatever you want to call him, astronaut boy. And we're going to just pop him over the top of the things so that you can only just see the planets there. I'm going to then pop on some of these that I know they're retired. There's some faceted gems, but I thought that they just looked very star-like. So I'm going to pop about 5 of these on here. I might put that's 6, one more about here. Oh, I don't like where I've got them. There we go. And I think I really need to put some more stars down this side here. So I'm going to have to see if I can get in there with those stars. Down that side there. Yes, look at that. I just think that it needed those stars down there. And I will colour those with that. Oh. Mango Melody. Just to finish it off. That looks better. That looks heaps better. Oh boy, I think it's gorgeous. I love it. I love the way it's turned out. I'm actually really pleased with the way that's turned out, and it's gorgeous on the inside too. So I hope you've enjoyed today's card. This is my original one, and to me it's just the perfect card. So I love the way it just stands up, and the corner just sort of sits away from the card. You can't see it very well like this, so I'll do it like as if that's the floor or the ground. Yeah, it just looks so good, and I'm really happy with it. I hope you like my card, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.